right, guys, new week, same phone. I know who this is. We just got back from the Senior Bowl. I want to give a shout out to producer Justine. Everybody at the Daily Wire was involved with that. Huge success, smashing hit. Was great to go down there. Didn't play any golf this time, so I couldn't embarrass myself. But I did notice on the way down to Mobile, like, you know how there's a ton of billboards, right? It's like Alexander Shannara and this, that, and the other. I wonder if any of the billboards that are like either religious or maybe perhaps the funniest billboard I've ever seen. And I guess this is a thing now, like driving high, like I guess like under the influence of marijuana. There's a billboard that says, this is a sign, this is exactly what it says, this is a sign, ... telling you to not drive high.
It said this is a sign?
It was a billboard that is exactly written for anybody that is high on marijuana. It literally just states everything. There's no colors. There's no like nothing to distract you that could send you off in down this rabbit hole. It says, it's like white background, black letters. This is a sign, ... telling you not to drive high. Like in anybody that's sober or anything, you're gonna put up a sign, just get to the point, right? But I wonder if that's ever worked, or if those religious ones that are like Blaine, what did you say? Like the billboards that are like, are you ready to live in hell forever?
It's like, yeah, do you want to spend eternity in hell? If not, text 1-800, we can do this.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, I'm just trying to find a gas station.
That one has a better conversion rate to me.
Well, I just wonder how many people I wonder how many people have been driving down the road and they're like, they just saw the billboard and they're like, spit hell in eternity. No.
Yeah.
Like I would
as
love
you pass an Arby's.
Yeah, as you pass like an Arby's and an exit with, you know,
Let me ask y'all another
closer
question.
to the rest
Do y'all ever
area?
feel like, or maybe it's just me, all right, but y'all ever feel like when they're counting down and that we're about to blast off into space?
You
It's
talking
the
about
way
in the production
Pavel
room?
counts down. Pavel just sounds like he's a guy in NASA. 5, 4, and he's like,
Yeah, well,
all right.
nobody's ever counted me down for anything before. Like, so when we first started doing it, yes, I was kind of like always waiting for something, but now it's so routine. It's so routine.
I'd go to Mars, though.
See, this is what I do. I don't do heights, so I'm not.
Look, after I saw
Heights,
the
it's not
pole
heights,
shift,
What do you mean it's not heights? David?
Yeah,
You're
not
the
like
highest, David.
Huh?
Like you're the
It's
highest.
like the ultimate height.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about high.
Well, David
This is a sign.
David could climb in the spaceship 30 minutes after it took off. He said,
Well, the thing about it is, it's
like, all right, guys,
2023.
you finally reached
It's
the top.
2023. We got spaceships David can fit in. You know?
Exactly.
It's
And you know
got,
where they told me that in Huntsville at the Space and Rocket Center.
Don't you just
isn't that place cool?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Don't
So
you just
awesome.
envision like the shuttle, like the way it's shaped, and like Cont's just in the shuttle. He's the only person in the shuttle with like his hands folded at the top.
Man, after I saw the
I'm gonna
pole
Helen
change
Keller
thing,
this thing.
after I
I'll
saw the
never
pole
find it.
change thing, I'll do it. I don't want to be here when that happens.
I don't either, but I
don't
think
want to
we're
be
still
here.
like.
Look, I'll do it. I'll be one of the first ones you send up there.
Yeah, Kevin Steele will still be a defensive coordinator when the polls change. Nick Saban brings Kevin Steele back to Alabama to run the defense. The Brooklyn Nets trade Kyrie Irving to Luka and the Mavericks, and we're taking your calls live with Super Bowl predictions if you want at 8:15 a.m. Eastern. I'm Jake Crane. It's Monday, but it's always a fun day, and welcome to Crane & Company. Nick Saban and Alabama went into last week with no coordinators and a #1 recruiting class. But after yesterday's reported agreement with Kevin Steele to become the defensive coordinator, they have now filled both coordinator positions. Now, we know that Kevin Steele knows ball. Hell, he's coached for 130 years. And he's had 3 different stints with Alabama, including being Saban's first defensive coordinator when he took over in Tuscaloosa in 2007. Talk about coming full circle or bringing the band back together. Now, Steele has been in the game for 39 years, and he's coached just about everywhere. And in my opinion, he fits exactly what Alabama needs right now at DC, and he's the polar opposite of his offensive counterpart in Tommy Rees, who's the new offensive coordinator. You want balance age-wise on your staff, and Alabama has that. Now, Steele isn't out there trying to build up his resume as a young coach. He isn't out there trying to impress some other head coach from afar that maybe he can jump on his staff later. At this point in his career, Kevin Steele is perfectly fit for the defensive coordinator role under Saban. Why? Well, because he has enough cachet to control that side of the ball. He understands what Saban expects and how to handle the egos. Hell, Steele's been around so long, he's taken more money from more schools than Randy Weingarten, but didn't do it as a nefarious way. Now, nobody is going to try and stop the Steele with him at defensive coordinator. So like I said, I think it's a perfect fit. An old DC with the young old C. Old bull, young bull. Man, that sounds like a damn good book. All right, I'm going to bring in my co-host now, former Michigan quarterback, former Heisman candidate, and future possible NASA astronaut. We're going to see David Cont, my brother, former Western State, Colorado wide receiver, Blaine Crane, and Flaming Dragon on Fridays, which, by the way, from here on out, I'm only referring to him as Flaming Dragon. I don't care what, we won't have the counter up on any day but Friday, but now I'm training myself. His new name is Flaming Dragon. It's no longer Blaine.
I'll accept that.
But that's fine. I knew you would. I knew you would with open arms and open heart and somewhat of a closed mind.
Mm-hmm.
But, David, when we talk about Kevin Steele, Nick Saban goes out there, gets a young guy that's very controllable as OC. It still is Nick Saban's defense, but Kevin Steele, there's no terminology, update coming from Miami. He still knows the way Nick wants to run things, the way Nick wants to call things. I actually think this is a much better hire than Tommy Rees at OC. When you heard Kevin Steele was going back for his third rendezvous at Alabama, what were kind of your initial thoughts?
I wasn't, like we said last week, I wasn't as concerned on the defensive side of the ball because, like you said, this is going to be Nick Saban's defense. I think, Nick Saban can't call offensive plays. Like, the offense can be Nick Saban's identity and say, this is what I'd like to do from an identity and a philosophical standpoint. But Nick Saban could call the defense from start to finish if he absolutely had to. So I wasn't worried about the defensive side of the ball. Plus, there seems to be a trust factor here, right? Like, Kevin Steele seems like trust tree. Hey, bring in somebody, you don't have to worry that much about recruiting anymore at the coordinator position, right? Like, if NIL is going to do the lion's share of the recruiting for you, and you're just going to tell kids, like, hey, here's the collective package that we have, then you're not asking Kevin Steele to go knock on a lot of doors and get big-time recruits in there. You already have the #1 recruiting class. Can you orchestrate a defense that can really get back to that old-school Alabama mentality of being punishing, sort of like we've seen Georgia overtake with that philosophy the last 2 seasons? Do you guys think Kevin Steele can orchestrate the type of defense for Alabama that could get up to that level that they used to have when Kirby Smart was the DC?
Yes, for a couple reasons. One, he's done it before. He knows what it's like to be at Alabama. He knows the identity that Nick and them want. He understands physicality. You talk about recruiting. They signed the #1 recruiting class without any coordinators. Now, I know they did have coordinators that first go around the real signing day in December now, but they were kind of on their way out. You thought there may be some moves being made. But Kevin Steele's a hell of a recruiter as well. Like, Kevin Steele's he knows all the high schools. He knows all the high school coaches, all the areas where they play good football and he can have success. But Kevin Steele's best attribute is his defensive mind. Some defensive coordinators are more motivating guys that are good scheme-wise, but they're better motivators and better recruiters. Kevin Steele, from a schematic standpoint, has done a little bit of everything. He adds things to an already deep playbook that Nick Saban has, not only from a coverage standpoint, but from a front standpoint. You're going to get some 3 down. You're going to get some 4 down. You have enough to where you have an answer for everything, but Kevin Steele also doesn't get so complicated that it's paralysis by analysis. So I think this, to me, is actually the perfect fit. If you're an Alabama fan, and I know, Blaine, some Alabama fans will complain and moan and cry about this. I don't understand why. You've got a proven guy that knows what to do. He knows the system. He can add value, and he's a great adjuster. And that, at the end of the day, determines who wins and loses just as much as anything outside of how good you are up front.
Well, it didn't matter who they're going to hire. They're going to complain about somebody. I mean, that's just how it works. When Nick Saban hires anybody, he could hire Kirby and hire Lane Kiffin, the OC. Someone would find a way to complain. But let's be honest here. It's especially like being a head coach of an NBA team. All right, it's going to be hard to mess this up if you're Kevin Steele and you're walking in to coach Alabama's defense. I mean, you can basically put a shadow person there to coach Alabama's defense, and they're going to be good because it comes down to this. Schematically, to a certain extent, you're going to have to play well. But it matters about the cats you have running around the field. And Bama's going to be pretty good on defense with what they're returning, all right? So you don't need some schematical wizard. Let's line up. Let's not complicate this. I don't think they'll be good as Alabama's defense, Kirby Smart. I don't know if we're going to see some of that dominant other than the Georgia defense we saw last year, just because the way offense have evolved since then. It's a lot harder to stop offensive now than it is back in the day, unless you completely just surround it with 9 first-rounders like you did with Georgia. So, yeah, these hires are fine. Is there something that's out of the bag that captures me with these hires? No. I don't think you have to be some fantastic coordinator to come in and coach at Alabama. You just need to do your job, and the players will do the rest.
Yeah, and I know you mean that Georgia team from 2 years ago, I'm guessing, is what you meant by elite defense.
Hell, last year, too. Hell, they're pretty good last year, too,
even without Nolan Smith.
I heard this story about Kevin Steele yesterday, and I wanted to ask you guys if you had any inside information. With your dad playing linebacker at Auburn, did you guys know Kevin Green? Did you guys have a relationship with Kevin Green? Yes. Just unbelievable NFL linebacker.
Talk about a great story.
Yeah. So I had heard a story when he was playing with the Panthers, and Kevin Steele was coaching linebackers, that Kevin Green went after Coach Steele and grabbed him by the throat and was choking him or something. And then a couple days later, and Kevin Steele didn't retaliate or do anything. And afterwards, he was like, "Hey, those guys are really emotional. There's a lot of energy on the sideline. Kevin Green's a good guy. I don't hold any animosity."
Yeah, what are you gonna say?
I was wondering if you guys had heard this story. If you knew any inside.
I guess that was actually the first stop to Steele.
Maybe.
I did not hear, but nothing.
Went after him and grabbed him and choked him or something.
Yeah, those guys, they didn't play around.
We should find some footage of that.
It's basically like Roadhouse. That's basically what it was
Roadhouse.
like. All right, so and we're in the comments. I want to know as you subscribe, hit that like button, notification bell as well. Alabama fans or fans in general, do you think the Kevin Steele hire at defensive coordinator is a good hire? Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. I can already feel it percolating over there. But before we get there, guys, we all know what weekend is. We all know what happens on Sunday. The question is, are you ready for the biggest Sunday in sports? All right, DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 57, has all the Super Bowl action you need. New customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly. Plus, all customers can get in on Super Bowl 57 excitement with DraftKings Happy Hour Super Boost. Who doesn't like a good happy hour? Check the DraftKings Sportsbook app every day between 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, and update for Pacific Standard Time to see what prop bet will be boosted. All right, guys, look, we're going to get into our Super Bowl picks. I'm leaning the Eagles right now. We're going to dive into some sharps here in a second when we get out of the Booster Club. But you need to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use our code BOOSTER. That's BOOSTER. It's like rooster, but with a B in the beginning. New customers, like I said, can bet $5 on Super Bowl 57, and you get $200 in free bets instantly. That's right. In this economy, we're still handing out cash. That's only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code BOOSTER. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void in Ohio, unfortunately. See show notes for details. Booster Club, Flaming Dragon, questions, answers, friendship.
All right, let's go to Matty Ice. What's up, Matty Ice? He wants to know, are we going to see maybe Oklahoma or Texas join before 2025? Is
Not
way
now.
out of this?
Not now, it's looking like. I thought it was going to be by 2024 because these things never last throughout the whole contract until you come to the new conference. But now it looks like, according to reports, it's not going to be until 2025. So y'all keep warming up in the G League over there. Y'all keep warming up in the G League before you come over. I get it. It's the logistics behind the scenes, getting the schedules and all that stuff. And I know it takes a ton of time. But come on, man. It's 2023. Why am I driving to work still? Why can't Texas and Oklahoma be in the SEC next year? These are problems we need to solve. We have too much technology not to solve these problems.
I don't think the schools have much to do with it, or even the logistics. I think it's all about the TV networks. Right, if you're Fox, why are you going to lose some inventory, some high quality assets like that earlier than you have to, unless it's top dollar? What you're going to make ESPN pay for that and foot the bill?
Yes. I mean, yeah,
tell them to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm not.
It's all about the TV. That's all it's about at the end of the day, guys. Nothing really moves unless they
guys
agree.
We have to think now. I mean, Texas and Oklahoma go in the SEC. I think the SEC is going to scrap divisions when they come in. So, there's a lot of things to move. There's a lot of moving parts. I don't think they're going to say, all right, Texas, you go in the East, and Oklahoma, you go in the West. Now, we know the geography is all screwed up in the SEC. How the hell Auburn and Alabama are in the West and Missouri is in the East? I'm not Christopher Columbus, but I can figure out that doesn't make any sense. So I'm not trying to follow the logic train when it comes to geography. But I do think they're going to absolutely get rid of divisions in the SEC. I think we're going to be rid of divisions in college football by 2025, 2026, which I'm a big fan of. I think it gets to the whole point of scheduling. But come on, man, let's just hurry this process up. TV networks, I get it. All right, we know you guys run the world basically, but come on, give us a little bit. Oliver, twist us a little bit. Just one more.
Oliver, twist us a little bit.
And that question was from Sarah Richards. Sorry, Sarah, I got it wrong. Slack Daddy wants to know, maybe Steele will stir up some crap like he did at Auburn.
No, because he's a defensive coordinator. He's again, I don't think he's taken over for Nick Saban. The whole point with Kevin Steele was, and I'm guessing you're talking in jest here. You may not be, but was that he was going to be the head coach, and just there wasn't a future there because Kevin Steele, is a great guy, great coach, but he's 5 years younger than the Crypt Keeper. I mean, you have no future with Kevin Steele at head coach. It's like asking the grandfather who started the company and gave it to his son, who gave it to his son, to come back and be the head man when he's 93. Mm-hmm. Okay, I get it. France tried to do that during World War II, and look what happened to them.
Well, Kevin Steele doesn't have a great track record as being a head coach.
No, he's like 9-27.
Exactly, when he at his time at Baylor. And that's what we always talk about. Some guys are great coordinators, and that doesn't make them a great head coach. To me, it made more sense for Auburn to think of a different solution. It just so happens it ended up being Brian Harsin.
Yeah, well, it's I'm not going to use that analogy, but you went out to find something and you got something that wasn't as good as what you already had, but it may all work out in the end. We look back on these things, but Kevin Steele was Will Muschamp before Will Muschamp.
But like all these guys can coach ball, right?
That doesn't
they
mean
can
you can't
all
coach
ball, but if you're at Auburn and you're sandwiched right between Tuscaloosa and Athens, you have to do things other people aren't going to do.
That's exactly
You have to go recruit at a level that other guys just aren't doing.
That's exactly right. It's kind of like when you look at Kevin Steele, it's just like in other business, like realms of business. Some guys are really good branch managers, but they don't need to be the CEO. Mm-hmm. And that's not saying that you're less, your worth is less. You're just, people are better at different things. Sometimes people, it's kind of like the Goldilocks syndrome, right? Like this porridge, it's a little too cold. Maybe this porridge is a little too hot, but you as defensive coordinator or branch manager, cone.
It's Dwight Schrute.
That porridge.
Dwight Schrute, hell of a salesman. Do not give him the keys to the office.
That's exactly right. What I mean? Roles are defined.
All right, let's go to Tyler Jarvis with a $20 donation.
Thank you. Remember, donations get questions asked first.
I keep hearing Jason Candle's name being mentioned as the OC for Miami. What's y'all's opinion on him as a hire? As far as DC goes, I would just promote strong. What's y'all's thoughts? Go Canes. Mint chocolate chip ice cream rules, get out.
I'm going to tell you, the way you ended that question was magically delicious, and I'm not talking about Lucky Charms. But we saw Sean Lewis go from Kent State to be the OC at Colorado. Can Miami go into the MAC and take another head coach, Jason Candle, a guy who's had success at Toledo, a guy who I've watched on MACtion and it feels like forever now, has done a really good job there. It's Toledo. You can win there. We've seen Toledo win there. Shout out Kareem Hunt. But when you look at Kareem Hunt played at Toledo, right? I'm not losing my mind. Okay.
I believe so.
When I look at Jason Candle, I think it is a good hire. Miami and Mario Cristobal, I'm just telling you, it's going to work. I know people, our buddy T-Bob Abear down there called him Christofraud. I get people don't like him. Some people think he's not as proven as what he is. I'm just telling you, watch what Cristobal does down there in Miami. Florida State, I got him. I may have him making the playoff. I think I do have him making the playoff next year, which we're going to drop our top 25 at some point here in the next couple months. But look, I don't think that'd be crazy at all. You talk about DC, Coach Strong, again, kind of fits that Kevin Steele mode a little bit. Great coordinator, pretty good coordinator, not a great head coach. Sometimes it just goes down like that.
Yeah, it's the same kind of boat. If you're a player, you're a great player, doesn't mean you're a great head coach. A lot of people fall in that realm a little bit.
I think maybe a better analogy is some guys can be really good players, but they don't need to be team captain.
Mario Cristobal was the most logical hire for Miami, right? Having success at a different Power 5 school at Auburn and played at Miami, that's a guy you go get. Just like Nebraska, it made sense to go hire Scott Frost, even though it didn't work out. It made sense for Michigan to go hire Jim Harbaugh. My question is, if Mario Cristobal doesn't work out at Miami, is that going to say more about his coaching ability or more about the ceiling at Miami these days?
I think it'll say more about his coaching ability because I think Miami still can be as hot of a product as anybody. Especially now that they're pumping money in. If they weren't pumping money in and it didn't work, I think you kind of have an escape route on Mario Cristobal. But now that Ruiz, whoever that billionaire is pumping money in Miami, there's no more excuses now. And I see the way they're recruiting, especially up front. There's no more excuses now. We'll see if Mario can get over the hump. He's in a good conference to do it, especially this year. You know, think about the odds of Miami having success in the ACC, which I know Florida State's going to be really good. Clemson's going to be good. North Carolina's going to be dangerous on offense. But compared to what the Pac-12 is bringing back, it's a walk in the park compared to what the Pac-12 is going to be this year.
All right, let's go to Big Matt with a $2 donation. Appreciate it,
Matt.
Matty. He says, do you have any rituals? I believe this is his question. Do you have any rituals on a Monday morning?
I don't do voodoo, dog. Rituals on Monday? Well, see, I'm a routine person.
Yeah.
So every day is a ritual for me. I wake up at 4 a.m. I set my alarm. I wake up. I've got to get into my routine of the morning. Like, I've got to go take a shower. I've got to get ready. I've got to be able to look at my phone, go through bets that I like for the day. I'm a ritualistic person every day. My Friday morning is a lot similar to my Monday morning, that is kind of like my Wednesday morning, that is very close to my Tuesday morning, that mirrors Thursday morning almost exactly.
Yes, same here. I don't want any changes.
No.
I need to be on autopilot for a lot of that.
No, I tweet my things out at basically the same time. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, not doing a Sunday show this Sunday, like, threw me off my routine. I was laying in the bed at like 6:30, like with my eyes open. Because when you get up at 4 a.m, basically every morning, sleeping till 6:30, sleeping in.
Oh yeah, I was trying to get sleep.
Well, you just had another.
Dave was like, must be nice, huh? Must be nice.
She's awesome though. She's awesome. Yeah.
I will say though, like, if you're not used to getting in, I used to find this in coaching, especially when we practice in the morning. When you're used to getting up really early, and then you have like a day off, and you still get up at like 6:30, dude, I got so much done in between like 6:30 and before the first basketball came on at 11. Like, dude, I went and washed my car. I vacuumed it out. There was a new farmer's market, indoor farmer's market.
You called me about that.
I did.
He was that excited.
We went in there, and I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to give free advertising, but boy, I wish we'd do a deal with this place.
Okay.
Went in there, got some black seared ahi tuna for Reed. $8 a pound? I felt like John Dillinger, like I just robbed the place walking out.
It was so funny because I was at Jake's place the other Sunday, and the first thing, I never thought I'd hear Jake say this, but the first thing when I got there for 20 minutes, he was just hyping up the new vacuum they got.
Okay.
I was like, look, you've gotten to adulthood.
Well, I felt like Dr.
You're hyping up a vacuum.
Like, we're totally becoming your parents.
Who else likes
new
vacuum?
homeowners? Yeah. Bro, it's 100% true.
Reading a book about
No, Reed got our old vacuum broke because it was like used like back in World War II, and
sturdy.
Finally got a new one. Sturdy, yeah. That thing had like hair from like the first Queen of England in it.
Nice. Rude.
So Reed went and got another vacuum. We made an investment on a vacuum. This one looks like Doc Ock off Spider-Man.
Okay, so
it's like Inspector Gadget.
We got the robot one.
I'm like, get me a sandwich, and it like just goes over to the fridge, and it's like, getting a sandwich.
I'm still broom dustpan. You know what I'm saying? Old school.
Yeah,
the best way.
I'm surprised Blaine has the bed. Way. But all right, let's go ahead and get into Super Bowl sharps.
Okay, all right.
Let's get into Super Bowl
sharps. Any first TD scores you like over there, Blaine?
Yes, Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders,
really?
TD plus 700.
What's that at? Plus 7?
Plus 700 on DraftKings, right? Yeah, plus 700 is a good one. You can never go wrong with Travis Kelce.
Yeah, Travis Kelce anytime touchdown is -1.
I really, really like the Eagles to score first, and Miles Sanders is a good pick. I'm kind of stuck in between Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. Because at what point?
I still think they throw for it.
At what point? No, at what point during that first drive that the Eagles have the ball, are they going to get, run the ball? I think they're going to have some success on the ground. At what point do they go play action and take a shot to A.J. Brown deep?
Yeah, this is where you get in trouble with the Eagles, all right? They're probably going to hit a shot. Either it's going to be A.J. Brown.
It's going to get tackled
inside the 5, and then they're going to run it.
That's why I really want to pick Jalen Hurts at plus 700.
Yeah, that's not.
Why would I not take Jalen Hurts?
Yeah.
We all know Miles Sanders will get tackled at the inch-yard line, and they're going to get into the tractor formation.
Yeah, the rugby.
Yeah, and just push Jalen Hurts into all the way from California out to Chicago.
And you saw they were running some Q power with him despite that shoulder injury. So now 2 weeks to rest up.
Look, buddy. That was the conference championship game, and this is the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What did Dan Fouts say in The Water Boy? It's the bourbon hole, mate.
You can't hold anything back.
You can't hold anything back. The bourbon hole, I think, is a bar down there.
How about Dallas Goedert, man? Plus 1,100 first.
Well, look, Blaine rode with the fear on that one and hit. I mean, are you feeling another tight end?
And then I went away from him. I was a tight end type of weekend. The thing about it is, styles make fights, right? And the thing about this style and this fight is going to be, I just really want to see how this Kansas City defensive line holds up. Because I don't think they'll RPO if they're inside the 5, which I think they will run the ball when they'll run it 3 times in a row if they had to. Hell, they'll run it 4 times in a row if they're inside the 5. But that's Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders. What you really get in trouble with is the backup running back. Was it Gainwell?
Yeah.
For the Eagles, so that's the things that'll kind of somewhat piss you off when it comes to first touchdown.
Well, is McKinnon going to score a touchdown this week? That's my anytime touchdown scorer. I mean, I think eventually he scored one in like 8 straight games and then hasn't the past couple games when I picked him to be a touchdown scorer. So I almost feel like I have to pick him again.
He is plus 170 anytime touchdown scorer.
I mean, that
I like the under in this game as well, 50.5.
You like the under in this game?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I just don't know how many points the Chiefs are going to score. I really don't. I really don't. And I know Patrick Mahomes is bad. Patrick Mahomes, he's the best quarterback in the NFL. I know that. This Eagles defense is extremely good, and they're extremely deep. And you look for the pros and cons and the checks off to this team. What are the Chiefs better than the Eagles at other than quarterback?
No, I'm not saying the Eagles aren't going to win. I think the Eagles have the better roster by far.
Tied in. That's it, right? And it's not huge. Dallas Goedert's a good player. Obviously, Travis Kelce. But O-line, I mean, give me the Eagles. D-line, give me the Eagles. Secondary, give me the Eagles. Running backs, give me the Eagles. Receivers, give me the Eagles.
Yeah, but see, like that to me, though, I don't think the debates, we're not debating who's going to win the game. We're talking about who's going to score over 15.5 points. Here's what I only know a few things in this life.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, I'm going to have to pay taxes.
That's true.
Number two, unless Elon and them figure it out, I'm going to die at some point. All right, but we're rooting on you. Okay, we're rooting you guys on. Number three, you give Patrick Mahomes time to rest up. You give Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy 2 weeks to get ready.
Yep.
You have an offense with Travis Kelce, and I know they're beat up at wide receiver. That's the thing that scares you the most. But I find it hard to believe that the Chiefs are not going to find a way to score at least 24 points in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Eagles are for damn sure going to score over 28. So I'm no math magician, or math inhibition.
You're not.
All right? But I do know that equals more than 50. And it's 50.5. I don't think the Chiefs are going to be able to stop the Eagles up front. You talk about roster. I think this game, just like every other game, is going to come down to who can run the ball and who can stop the run. I think the Eagles have a whole hell of a lot better chance of stopping the Chiefs' run than the Chiefs do of stopping the Eagles, which means that Patrick's going to have to throw the ball a lot, which is going to equal one of two things. Either the Chiefs are going to be scoring or they're going to turn the ball over and the Eagles are going to have good field position because they're throwing so much. Both of those equate to points. I think the Chiefs can at least get to 21 to 24. I think the Eagles will at least get to 28 to 30. I like the over in this game.
I don't know who I'm taking yet in this game. I'm still trying to decide. I agree with you that the Eagles are better at more positions than the Chiefs are. You combine that with a high ankle sprain with Patrick Mahomes, usually it would just be a done deal for me.
Yeah.
It just so happens to be Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And he has another extra week to rest up.
Yeah.
I mean, he is legendary. He is generational. I think Steve Spagnuolo, and plus Jalen Hurts isn't 100% either. With that shoulder. Now, them still running some Q power towards the end of the conference championship, I was a little surprised to see it, but also it told me, hey, you give him another week to rest up, I think that he's going to be better. Jalen Hurts didn't need to be 100% to beat the Giants, though, and to beat some of the teams that they had to face. So I think Steve Spagnuolo is going to dial some stuff up for the Eagles. I don't think they're just going to rush for 350 yards.
You have to, but here's the thing. When you dialing run blitzing and run stunning is just, if not more dangerous than blitzing against the pass. Because, look, sometimes that run stunt, it works out beautifully. But sometimes you will get caught with your pants down and it's a touchdown. I'll never forget when I was coaching junior college at Iowa Western. We had the best team in the country. We had Kai Loxley, Mike Loxley's son, at quarterback. We had Mekhi Sargent, who started at Iowa, played in the league. Davion Nixon, who started at Iowa. Chester Graves was the #1 junior college player in the country. We had the best team in the country. We were undefeated, and we're going to play Butler. We had 5 Power 5 Division I offensive linemen. I'm talking about just ass kickers up front, get underneath and all the way through you up front. And it was getting late in the game, and we called a run stunt. And we had one linebacker get out of their gap. And when you call that run stunt, typically, you may be bringing a safety or you may be playing zero in the back end, just like when you're blitzing heavy against the pass. And that running back caught that safety or that linebacker out of gap and hit it for 70 and a touchdown and ended up costing us. Not that happens every time, but it's just as dangerous. And if you're having to rob Peter to pay Paul at any point on that defense, whether you're robbing Peter to pay Paul to double a wide receiver, you are going to pay the price somewhere. And the Eagles and Jason Kelce are so good at identifying blitzes and being able to maneuver mid-play and adjust. With as good as Jalen Hurts' vision is and as dangerous as they are on the outside, you may get them in some second and 12s. You may get them in some 3rd and 10s, but they may hit you for a 60, a 70, and a 75-yarder, and before you know it, you're down 24-7. So it's a dangerous game to play, but sometimes, look, you've got to what?
You got to play
You've
that.
got to
Eagles
pay
are
the you've got to
Eagles
pay the
have so
blind
many-
puppet
I know,
maker.
and they have so many weapons. Your best chance is to get to Jalen Hurts early, hopefully often, maybe bang
What did
him
the
up a little
Niners
bit.
start doing? What did the Niners start doing on every 3rd down? They brought everybody. They brought him, and Jalen Hurts was able to what? Make the throws. That's what it's going to come down to. Can he make the throws under pressure? Because like you said, Spagnuolo's not going to sit back there and just let you come in here and here you go, big boy, come and get it.
And Spagnuolo likes to save stuff, right? He'll save his best stuff.
He's
going to
have a good game plan.
Right? He's going to do that. But it's going to be a lot harder for the Chiefs to get 5 yards than the Eagles to get 5 yards. Patrick's going to have to work extra hard.
Yeah.
It's going to be sluggish.
Modified runs.
It's going to be
Modified
sluggish.
runs.
Here's another thing that's
modified
really
runs.
interesting to me. The way that how great the Eagles are at running the football, and you're playing against a guy who we just said is so generational and can make all these plays in Patrick Mahomes. The thinking is, okay, let's just dominate the time of possession. And maybe the Eagles will win the time of possession. But the Chiefs, what's so great about them, they're not just some high-flying offense that is just like throw the football 50 yards down the field, score a touchdown, and then give the ball back to the other team. This isn't like the Peyton Manning Colts, right? Like Patrick Mahomes will throw short game all the way down the field. He'll hit stick and branch.
That's who they are.
Travis
Well, it gives
Kelce
them,
all the way down the field.
Well, it gives them another out. It gives them another. Let's think about this, and I think the Bengals are kind of going through this right now. Remember when the Chiefs have struggled on the offensive line for a while with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid there. They haven't been a dominant offensive line by any stretch of the imagination since they've been there, yet they've put up these incredible offensive numbers. How? They've had to learn how to live without a great offensive line. They've had to learn how to live without being able to run it downhill. Name the running back for the Chiefs that has dominated since Patrick Mahomes has been there. You can't do it. You want to know why? Because one really doesn't exist. Because their modified run game is so good, which supplements their normal run game. If you're just turning in the show, what is a modified run game? That quick game, right? Being able to find where you're short, identifying the blitz, and getting the ball out to who? Whether it's Travis Kelce, whether it was McCole Hardman before he got hurt, whether it's McKinnon now, whether it was Clyde Edwards-Helaire back in the day, they find ways to get in 2nd and 6. That's why the Chiefs have been successful. And you saw Joe Burrow and the Bengals kind of realizing this, right? How much better was the Bengals short game? Honestly, they lived on short game and then hitting T. Higgins or Jamar Chase over the top. That's what they've become. So I think that actually has turned into a strength for the Chiefs and Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid. When the run game straight at you is not working, like it's probably not going to work against the Eagles, how are you able to spit the ball out with jet sweeps and now screens and bubble screens and things like that? So you're not caught in predictable downs and behind the chains, which is another term for staying on what? On schedule. And that's what makes the Chiefs so dangerous.
The thing about the Eagles are so good at tackling an open field. That's one of the strong suits of the Eagles. So obviously after this offense change, after Tyreek left, they're not hitting as many big plays down the field. But from a yardage standpoint, they're doing just as well because they've turned into an offense that they're going to say, "Hike, we're just going to spit it out extremely quickly." So against a defense like this, against a secondary like this, who can get in your face, or play back and tackle well in the open field, who can also stop the run game between the tackles, it's going to be a lot tougher sledding for Patrick Mahomes. They're going to have to hit some plays down the field because just like with the Georgia defense 2 years ago, right? Gravity. Sooner or later, gravity, they're going to bring him down. So they're going to have to find guys to hit big plays down the field just to open it up for Patrick. They're going to have to.
Yeah, well, a couple, but before we move on here, any quarterback to have a reception is plus 1,200 yards.
Really?
So if it's a throwback or something like that.
Philly special.
Yep, you have any offensive lineman to score a receiving touchdown if somebody comes in as eligible, maybe a throwback plus 3,500. And then you have either team, I like this bet here, either team to kick a game-winning walk-off field goal at the end of normal time is plus 1,000. So
That's a
a
good
walk-off
bet.
field goal, I may put $100.
That's a good bet.
I may put
Miles Sanders plus 100 for most rushing yards of the game. I like that bet, especially in the second half. I think the Eagles are going to give it to him a lot. And I also you can almost go take both these quarterbacks if you wanted to. Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, each over 1.5 touchdown passes.
Okay, it's funny you're looking at the touchdown passes because I was going to say, how about Jalen Hurts under 242 passing yards, given how much they're going to run the football?
Yeah,
that's the type of another one to look at. Any player to have a 55-plus yard reception is going off at plus 250. So those are pretty good odds. We know that if the run game's there, the shot off play action's coming. And we talked about the Chiefs spitting the ball out. Well, let me tell you something you're not going to want to spit out, and that's Black Rifle coffee. If you wake up like us and you have to have a cup of coffee, hell, to be honest with you, I think my immunity to it, I don't even know if the caffeine affects me anymore. It's just part of the routine, and I love the taste. Black Rifle, it is absolutely the move. It is the coffee we drink, and it is roasted by a veteran-led team of brilliant coffee graders here in the U.S. Their founder, Evan Hafer, has actually scoured the planet for the perfect beans. This man went Jack and the Beanstalk, and he figured it out, all right? Ensuring that they pass the most stringent standards of excellence. They're constantly coming out with new roasts, kind of like Comedy Central. Their most recent, Beware the Delaware roast.
Beware the Delaware?
Beware the Delaware. I don't know if that's an ode to Joe Flacco or
Joe
what.
Biden?
All right, but if you go to blackriflecoffee.com and use promo code BOOSTER, BOOSTER at checkout, you get 10% off your purchase and your first coffee club order. That's blackriflecoffee.com. Use our promo code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, for 10% off. You can also find Black Rifle Coffee in grocery and convenience stores, which is convenient for you. Black Rifle Coffee, America's coffee. Wake up, choose excellence.
Lava Panther.
Lava Panther.
It's a panther
llama.
on a
Power
surfboard
llama.
surfing on top of lava.
They need to come out with a flavor called I'm going to kick your ass.
Dude, this llama has MG42s on it. Like,
Really?
Let's be honest here, right? You know what's the scariest sight ever?
Yeah.
Seeing a llama with 2 MG42s.
Xerxes not making it through the hot gates with that strapped to the camel.
I'm afraid. That's pretty sweet. That's so good.
That is
so
pretty sweet. Black Rifle Coffee, hashtag The Move. What else is The Move? Flaming Dragon, it's the Booster Club. And we're taking live calls in 10 minutes. So
Oh,
get your phone
yeah.
ready. 1-855. And then there's some more numbers.
Come on.
Come on, you got it.
236-3228. I'm going to go, excuse me. 186. It's 1-855. Hold on. They can't get it right back there either. So we're even. 1-855-236-3228. That's it, right?
We need to write
Man,
this
there's
down.
no telling who.
No, here it is right here.
We'll
I
put
got
it
it
on the
right.
board.
1-855-236-3228. And you get to talk to us live.
We
Oh,
need
boy.
to get you some.
I'll put it in the chat as
We
well.
need some business cards that just have that number.
No, I'm going to do it off
That's
the
it.
dome.
Nothing else.
I'm coming straight off the dome.
American Psycho style.
Yeah.
You know?
We need a billboard.
Yeah, you remember
We
the
need a
business
billboard. We were talking about
We
billboard.
do.
This is a sign.
We need a
This is a
That has the
sign
phone
telling
number
you
for
to call
Crane
in.
Company.
Our faces on it. I love that. Let's go to CG87343 with a $5 donation.
Oh, God. Is that R2's brother?
I don't know, ChatGPT. We'll see. Can someone explain why the Pro Bowl was a pickup game on flag football? It seemed very lame. And also, what is the point of Pro Bowl? Never really understood it.
Look, some people like the flag football stuff. It just, I feel like we're watching what football is going to be in 20 years. Here's what I'll say about the Pro Bowl. I'm with Cone. It should just be a list. The Pro Bowl should be a list. Here it is. You made the Pro Bowl. Congratulations. Now move on about your day. Like, we shouldn't play a game. We shouldn't have a challenge where we see how many, muffins Kirk Cousins can eat or whatever the hell happened. We should just not have a Pro Bowl, not have a game or skills challenge. Just have congrats, you made the Pro Bowl. Here's a letter with a ribbon on it.
Our
ribbon.
I like
Yes.
the incentives. Let's have you get paid a certain amount to go play in the Pro Bowl.
Well,
right?
you get paid, and one thing, you get paid more if you win too. So it's
Yeah.
like $88,000 if you win, and it's like $44,000 if you're on the losing team. You got to get those numbers. Those are rookie numbers.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
like,
You
come on, pump it up a
You
little
want to fix the Pro Bowl? Here's how you do it. All right, there's a $5 million cash prize. Now let's make it $10 million cash prize for the winning team to split.
10 mil?
For the winning team to split.
Can I get on that roster?
For the winning team to split. How bad are you trying to win now?
You want to know what would
I
make
love it.
fun?
Who's skipping to play golf now?
I love
Here's what you ought to do. You ought to turn it into a mixture of a golf, 3-point shootout, home run derby challenge.
That's what it is now.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. But don't make it not with football though, because it's tough with football. Go have them. I would love to see these guys go out and do a home run derby. I would love to see a 6'10", 340-pound mammoth offensive tackle go out there with a weapon of mass destruction at the plate.
See, I would just love to see him go play football because they're football players.
Well, see that way they don't get hurt. There is an incentive. It's something kind of fresh.
dog.
But don't go play.
That's what I'm saying. You need to bump the cash prize up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm not playing an all-star game. When I'm making the type money these guys are making and it's that risky, I'm not going to play football. It's not like I'm asking them to go play golf. It's tough to play football when you can't actually really play football.
Can you imagine you go out there and just tear your ACL swinging a golf club?
Didn't Myles Garrett get hurt?
Well, then that's
Yeah.
on you.
Didn't Myles Garrett hurt his toe or sprain his
Yeah.
toe playing in the Pro Bowl this year? Flag
Yeah,
football?
you get hurt.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's like,
let's go out
you
there.
get hurt.
The
Like,
match.
yeah.
The match. Najee Harris versus another running back.
When are we going to get to a point where these guys are like, I can't even ride in the car anymore? I can't ride in a car.
I got to get carried to
I
work.
cannot go to the game because I may get hurt
Yeah.
and die in the car accident.
Look, guys,
that
this
much
40% chance of rain.
That much money, you can afford somebody to like P. Diddy you from the Chappelle show when they just carried him around.
Well, I mean,
Start asking for
is
some
like,
breast milk and sugar cookies.
Let's be honest here. Let's be honest. When it comes to skill, guys, and David, I might be wrong on this, but usually if you're a receiver or a quarterback or maybe DB, 7-on-7 is the funnest part of practice. It's the fun.
That and one-on-ones, I would think.
Yeah, and that one-on-one. I like 7-on-7 more than one-on-ones.
Yeah.
Just because you have more freedom when it comes to
Yeah, and they give the
I mean, I can
like
drop
20
back and
seconds.
throw it, and there's no one chasing
great.
after me.
Like, it's awesome, but still as a receiver or a quarterback, you always like to, I like to get, there's one thing that's a feeling that's awesome is catching the ball and getting hit and still catching it and getting up. Maybe giving a little CeeDee Lamb or something like that. So 7-on-7 is fun. But hey, man, it's football, man. Y'all are the best of the best. Honestly, the best on the best go at each other.
Speaking of the best of the best, what else is going on in the club?
All right, let's go to homeless Aunt Jemima.
Is she going to find a home?
This is a funny $2
Start selling that
donation.
syrup.
She says, here's a donation from Uncle Ben and I. Appreciate that.
Yes.
Let's go to James Stallings with a $5 donation. Appreciate it, James. How's that giant peach going? Freeze just keeps on moving up with recruiting. You love to see it. It's not a frost, boys.
Look, again, I'm not going to sit up here.
Yes, you are.
I'm not going to
Yes, you
sit
are.
up here and say that I've been screaming Hugh Freeze to Auburn since, Brian Harsin was getting looked at. But now you can kind of understand why. And they've got to win on the field. Nothing's done yet. And we have Hugh Freeze coming on Wednesday. Really, really excited about that. We're going to get him on this Wednesday. But yeah, he's doing a fantastic job. You just got, a big commitment from a quarterback. He's done stuff up front through the portal and in high school. Auburn is starting to look again like Auburn should look. And when you get somebody in there that doesn't just want to lift weights and talk about accountability, he actually wants to recruit and, do the things it takes to win and doesn't think he's already arrived yet, even though he's accomplished more than Brian Harsin has in his coaching career already. And Blaine, you said that Harsin has a new podcast?
A new podcast. Huddle Up. We suck. Cool
Remember he started that Huddle with Harsh podcast?
Cool Oakleys, though, bro. Oakleys are dope.
Blaine said, "Oh, dude, that's one of the hardest times I like because he had that Huddle with Harsh podcast. Remember?
Yeah.
Blaine said he has a new podcast called Huddle Up. We suck.
Yeah.
Did Harsin block you on Twitter?
Yes.
What's the beef?
Yes. Well, apparently he wanted to block somebody while he was in Auburn.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I've never. Again, all I did was tell the truth. Like, I didn't go out of my way on Twitter to be like, "Hey,
Did
Brian
you not-
Harsin, you're terrible."
Did you? Or
Huh?
did you not?
On Twitter, no, never tagged him in anything.
Okay.
But look, again, he's rich. I would love to have that much amount of money and just be blocking people on Twitter. That'd be a great situation. You're just not good at being a head coach where it's like hard to be a head coach. You're a house cat. Some guys are house cats. Some guys are lions.
All right, let's go to C with the $5 donation. Appreciate it, C. It's this one letter.
Yeah,
Kinda
the
like
younger
it's
brother.
mysterious. He says Josh Heupel, Rick Barnes, Tony Vitello, all been ranked 1 or 2 in the past year. Who, if any, wins a championship first? Love the show. See, love you.
See, I love you.
my
Yeah,
guy.
it's not Rick Barnes.
Vitello.
Come on, man. I
It's
want
Tony-
Rick to win it.
Come on,
Vitello.
I love Rick Barnes.
I want him to win
I
it.
just feel like Rick Barnes is just gonna read me a story while I go to sleep.
You can see the pain.
He's
in
gonna be like,
Barnes'
Rick
eyes.
Barnes is
Every time I
like,
look at him, you
he's
can see
just
the
reading a
pain.
story while you're in bed. He's like, and then Tennessee made it to the Sweet 16 to play Michigan, a team who just had Hunter Dickinson. Nobody gave him a chance, but Tennessee didn't play good because Grandpa Rick didn't do a good job again. Like, no, I love Rick Barnes. I love what Rick Barnes stands for. I don't think there's anybody that doesn't like Rick Barnes. If you hear the stuff he's done off the court as well,
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic stuff. I think it's Tony Vitello.
I think so too.
Look, I know they didn't make the College World Series last year, and it was a big letdown. I love what he brings to the sport in college baseball. I think it's good for college baseball. I cannot wait to start betting some college baseball so I can stop betting college basketball because who knows, you might as well just throw a dart and see where it lands and guess. But no, I think Tony V does it. I think Heupel and them have a chance next year to make the playoff. I just don't believe in Joe Milton enough. But once it gets to 12, who knows when it comes down to Tennessee and operating that style of offense, especially when you get in there because a lot of teams aren't used to seeing it at that speed. And that's a different animal for another day. But give me Tony V and the baseballers up there. We are taking your calls in 2 minutes. Well, you can call in 2 minutes.
All right, we got donations, but I just want to get y'all's answer to this. This is a good question because it always comes up during the Super Bowl. Mike RFF Lifestyle, we're missing the most important question of the Super Bowl. What is the color of the Gatorade that gets dumped on the winning head coach? There's a bet out there for this. I'm sure it's on a sports.
I mean, doesn't it just feel like orange? Doesn't it just feel like orange?
I don't know. I'm feeling more.
Look, I'm a lemon lime guy, but my spidey senses are tingling.
Well, this isn't about what you like. It's about what you think.
It's telling me blue. I'm getting a lot of blue.
It's got to be blue or orange, right? What's the? Do you have
Why
the odds?
is purple screaming at me?
Do you have the? You're getting
Purple's
screamed at by purple.
screaming.
I think that's the first sign of schizophrenia.
I don't think they'll do red. I
Difference
don't think
between
they'll do red.
blue and purple. Like, what are the shades there? Is there a controversy?
I don't know. We'll be able to tell. How good's the camera?
I mean, it's not as black and white as heads or tails. That's for sure.
All right, let's go to Nate State with a $5 donation. Appreciate it, Nate. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning to you.
Nate.
I know the best man speech on Saturday. Let's go, Nate. Standing ovation. Thanks for the advice.
Really?
Last
Standing
week.
O?
Got a standing O.
Wow. Well, you're under a lot of pressure. Your best man speech better be good.
Oh, it is. I'm
And I don't want it too embarrassing.
Poetry
either.
slam, the best man.
Yeah.
Going to?
Yeah.
We need to get
And
you
I'm
like
gonna
those little
beatbox.
drums.
I'm gonna beatbox while
Dave's
he
gonna be
reads
there
it.
beatboxing.
Yeah.
That'd
I'm gonna
actually
play
be
the harp.
fire. I was thinking about maybe talking with you and Ryan and maybe doing a song at the wedding for Reed, kind of like you did.
We just talked about it.
But I'm not going to
Done.
write one. I want to sing one that's already done.
Ryan, you hear that in there?
Ryan, you good with that?
You good with that, Ryan?
2 guitars, acoustic version.
Hey.
I'm going in between a couple songs. I don't want to say it on air though.
You've said enough.
Okay.
You've said enough. We'll take it from here.
Okay. Nice.
And we'll be at the
You
honeymoon.
go up there.
What's
and
the
kill
song?
it.
And we'll be at the honeymoon.
I'm not going to tell Reed the song on air that I want to.
Sign language it to me.
I'm gonna.
Hey, Jake.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
yes.
cute. I like
Ryan and I were going to crush the wedding, and then we're going to crush the honeymoon. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, you guys aren't coming on the.
We're going to be there.
No, what about Mom? I swear. What did Blaine say?
Blade's gonna
What did
be-
Blaine say? I'm
Blade's
show
gonna be
up
there in the
France.
gondola.
I'm going to
I
show
know
up in
it's
France,
Paris.
and
I
I'm
know
going to
it's
get in a
Paris.
little boat, and Blaine's going to be like, "Where do you want to go? You get the baguettes from the street." We're not going to Italy, dog.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, every accent Blaine has is Italian.
That's all I
You're like,
got.
"Hey, man, do Middle Eastern." He's like, "Hey, you're in the Middle East."
That's all I got. It's all I got.
He's like, "The
all I
Taliban,
got.
Fallujah bad."
That's all I got. All right, Jimbo Egan with a $5 donation with Kyrie Irving officially being dealt to the Mavericks.
Okay.
Are they title contenders?
Let's get into best and worst. This is a great segue, Jimbo. Great segue. Y'all
Blaine,
ready
you
for a
wanna
little
start
best
it
and
then?
worst?
Yeah, I'll go. My best, I don't know if y'all boys saw over the weekend, Aaron Rodgers, right? Wins the Pebble Beach Pro-Am with Ben Silverman. Absolutely. What can Aaron not do? Obviously, keeping a relationship. Outside of that, I mean, he's out there golfing. And then not only did they win, I mean, he's playing with a pro and Ben Silverman. Aaron carried the squad.
Look.
Ben shot a 1 over, and Aaron shot like 4 or 5 under. Balled out. So congrats to Aaron Rodgers. You'd love to see the dude can do it all.
Look, some guys are just feathery, all right? And I'm sure Aaron got out there and it was just an absolute butter festival from everywhere.
No, it was
Quarterbacks,
pure.
look, they're pure like that. Kickers are like that too.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes down to ball striking or just having that feel or that nuance, now, David, you on the other hand, you get up there and grip and rip.
Oh, we got to grip and rip.
Cone,
I'm not good enough.
The
to
ball
not-
just explodes.
Cone, no, look. Cone can be on the tee on a par 5 or 85 yards out with a pitching wedge. That club's getting swung.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't get cheated.
No, there's no in between.
No, you don't get. He took a divot out one time that there were people from China that were popping out of the hole wondering what happened.
That was a mistake. That wasn't a good shot.
Look,
I'm
Cone
not
hit
saying,
one. Cone, you connected. You squared up one. It went right, but oh my God, if it's gonna go right, it went so far.
man. I always
Somebody in accounting.
Hey, now I just feel like you're being a little bit mean to him, all right?
No, I get no
I'm
mean
not.
vibes.
No.
I'm the first to tell
I don't
you.
bring up the hockey swing like you brought up the other day.
You brought that up. I didn't even bring that up.
Again, going for what?
Going for
the
gold.
record. I'm not trying to just put it in there like, well, you know what? We'll get to hockky swing in a minute on my best and worst.
No,
But
the
go ahead.
sound it
yeah, there
makes.
you go.
It's like on God, what's that movie? When it's like when he's like, now my dog of war, but we have to do it my way.
South Park?
Yeah, no, it's a movie. It's like, is that Road Warrior? I think it's
Yeah,
Road
that's-
Warrior.
yeah,
the
that's
movie.
South Park.
Just the sound it made, but just kind of like sparks flew off of it. It's like when they made like Valyrian Steel.
I don't know what that is. But my worst is
Valyrian Steel?
what is that? Is that the
They're watching the game, the House of Dragon?
is that on the new
It's
one?
normal Game of Thrones, the original.
It's a normal game.
They didn't
like
talk
the
about it in the
original.
House of Dragon at all.
Which, by the way,
No, there's just uncles making out with nieces, and like that was basically it.
But Valyrian Steel comes from.
well,
Valyria.
besides that,
Anyway,
Yeah, I got to go back and watch like the first. Like,
dude, I'm in deep. Again.
Where
I
you at
skipped.
right
I skipped a lot.
Right now, I am to the point where, Stannis Baratheon gets beat. Sansa married Tyrion, and like he's trying to get old girl, like the other girl that he's with to leave. The Joffrey, I just want to just slap him in front of everybody. God, I hate that guy. He's a great actor. I hate him. You put him and Draco Malfoy in the same room, I'm breaking bricks. Don't let me in there.
Everybody hates Draco. My worst is Kyrie Irving. And it's not really, it has to do with the trade, but it's just this guy has more failed relationships than the Kardashians.
I don't know. Durant's up there with him too.
Yeah, true. Obviously, Jafar's up there with him too. If you're at the
Jafar?
if you're the Nets at this point, I mean, look, I don't feel like you got a terrible deal out of this trade. I really don't. But Kyrie, when it comes from Boston, the Cavs, to Brooklyn, and now the Mavs, everything he touches slowly withers and dies. It really does. In the locker room, you just can't play with this guy. Is he a phenomenal basketball player? Yeah. Are the Mavs probably going to be slated to win the championship? Yeah. But sooner or later, whether it's the rest of this year or next year or the year after that, this relationship will sour. It'll go bad. It'll turn, and Kyrie will just get dealt out again. I don't know if Kyrie have ever heard the song "Man in the Mirror," but sooner or later, if it keeps being a problem, you're the problem, right? You are the problem. I thought you had a good enough roster at the Nets to compete for a championship. But obviously, KD, he couldn't hold himself together for the 12 days KD was out, got into a locker room altercation. Next thing you know, he's dealt out.
Well, here's my thing. I think there's a couple things that we have to look at. Number one, most relationships of super high-profile players in professional sports end up souring at some point and end badly. Most do not end the way that we see some of these great stories where guys stay at one place forever or it works out for a superstar. Hell, LeBron's from Cleveland. It didn't even stay there. Kyrie is a problem. I agree with that. But this goes to show you how stupid the Nets are for thinking that you could put Hurricane Kevin Durant with Tornado Kyrie Irving and somehow bring soft-ass Ben Simmons in there and this was going to work out in the locker room. You have a ton of physical talent. These guys, when they have the ball in their hands, they're unbelievable. As a team, it was never going to work in Brooklyn. Now you're out of coach. Now you're going to be out Kyrie Irving. Ben Simmons isn't exactly working out. Kevin Durant's probably not going to be there for a super inordinate amount of time, especially now that Kyrie's leaving. Some people are saying that the Nets won this trade. All right, and I disagree with that. Okay, I get that the Nets got some good pieces. You get Dinwiddie. All right, you get Dorian Finney-Smith, I believe. You get a first-round pick as well, so you get some good things here. And the Mavericks, I still think Jalen Brunson was a better fit than Kyrie Irving for Luka. All right, but the Mavericks had to do something to help Luka out. Nobody depends on a single player more than the Mavericks depend on Luka Doncic. And you're starting to see they're 0-7 without him. They can't win a game without him. Well, now adding Kyrie is going to help them offensively. What's crazy is Luka is having a hell of a year, and this is going to do nothing but help him. But offense isn't the Mavs' problem. Offense is not going to be the reason the Mavs don't win the championship. It's defense. All right, when the Mavs were cooking last year, they were really good on offense and good on defense. This year, they're really good on offense, about to be elite on offense, but they're dog water on defense. They're terrible on defense. And as crazy as it sounds in the NBA, eventually you get to a point where you have to win games with defense, or at least win a couple games, whether that's holding home court, whether that's trying to go steal one on the road, where you got to play good on defense and outplay the other team. That's where I don't know if the Mavericks are going to be able to do this defensively. They're going to be able to score a lot of points. There'll be some nights where they score 150 points. And Kyrie and Luka, they'll elevate everybody else, and it'll look great offensively. But defensively, if the Mavericks do not figure it out, I don't care who they have, they're not going to win a championship, especially coming out of the West.
Time and time again, everywhere Kyrie Irving has gone since leaving Cleveland, I've given him the benefit of the doubt, and I've said, whether it's Boston, whether it's the Nets, I've said his talent will overcome the drama that he causes, right? And there's a reaction to do that here. Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic on the same team, like they have to be better, right? I'm done doing that with him because he is so toxic. And if the movie The Breakup taught us anything, there's a very, very important scene in there, okay, where she says, look, my sister has problems, all right? And what does Vince Vaughn say? She slept with the entire Arizona Cardinals offensive line. That's not she has problems. That she's the problem.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you surround Kyrie with, whether it's a toxic, another star player, or just four other guys who are really good dudes. He's going to be the problem, right? It wasn't Kevin Durant was a problem. You go back and look at Boston. Who was the problem on there? Kyrie Irving was a problem. Were you going to go to the Cavs and say LeBron was the problem? Kyrie Irving's a problem. Everything just slowly withers away when you put him in the locker room. I do think Kyrie Irving's a way better fit with Luka than Jalen Brunson. I mean, Kyrie's better on all sorts.
Not on defense.
Jalen Brunson's average on defense.
Jalen Brunson's
he's
actually
nothing
really
special on defense. He's nothing special.
Jalen Brunson's average. Actually,
that's why he's.
If you look at
that's why he's with the Knicks right now.
He's a pretty good.
He's not. You bring in an impact player like Kyrie Irving. Jalen Brunson doesn't scratch the surface of what Kyrie was, especially when you get into playoff basketball.
You remember last year in the playoffs when Brunson was dropping 40 a game?
40 a game?
You just took.
What about the play?
Jalen Brunson
you want to sit here and argue
year.
about Jalen Brunson even being near Kyrie Irving as a basketball player?
Offensively, no, that's not where I got.
Jalen Brunson's not a good defensive player.
Kyrie don't play defense.
He's not a good defensive player.
Jalen Brunson is 10 times
a mediocre defensive player. He really is. But
then,
if you're the Nets,
I guess
if you're the Nets and you can keep Kyrie Irving and you get one of the best 3-and-D guards in Dorian Finney-Smith, and you get a guy like Dinwiddie, who's a big guard who averages 20 points a game. You keep Ben Simmons. You get a number 1 pick and 2 second-rounders. You can keep Kevin Durant. You can make some. You can make some right moves and end up being extremely well off in this trade. Well, I really do. I think the Mavs gave up too much.
Well, again, I don't think it's crazy to say the Nets won the trade. That's why I let it off with. But let's not act like Kevin Durant's not a problem.
How long until he asks for?
I mean, we're going to sit here and say
he might be gone by Thursday.
Yeah, look, Kevin Durant has screwed over more rosters than Steinbrenner and Al Davis combined. All right, let's be honest. He couldn't even fit at the Warriors. He couldn't even fit at one of the most when they were cooking. And who knows when it's truly going to end, even though it steps out now, it looks like it is ending. When they were cooking, Kevin Durant was still a problem. You won the MVP of the finals, and you ended up still basically getting sent out and shipped out because you caused problems. Now, Draymond Green's at fault for some of that, but Kevin Durant, everywhere he's went, has left on bad terms. Name one place where Kevin Durant has left on good terms. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, he might be
Hell, he
by
didn't even
Thursday.
leave Texas on good terms. They couldn't get their ass out of the second round of the NCAA tournament. Speaking about Rick Barnes.
All right, I'm going to rattle off my best and worst here real quick. First of all, the best. 3 college basketball teams here I got to give a shout out to. Iowa State takes down Kansas. Beat the brakes off of them. 68-53. Iowa State's now 16-6. They're 7-3 in the Big 12, which is second.
Sneaky.
You know, every year in football, we're talking about Iowa State. Iowa State's going to be good in football this year. They always let us down. Iowa State's for real in basketball. So, you got something on that?
Well, Kansas is really, when Grady Dick is not shooting well, Jalen Wilson's almost all they got. I mean, DeJuan Harris has got to start giving them something offensively at some point. They're undersized down low. All right, Uday Jr. is a freshman. He's very talented. He's going to be fine eventually, but he's not ready. And the Adams kid is just undersized. Like, Kansas gets bullied under the rim sometimes. And when they play a team that is rugged and nasty and Kansas isn't shooting like Kansas normally does, they are very, very, very mortal and very beatable. But I want to give credit to Iowa State. I watched that whole game. They ran it from the start to the finish.
And they got a big one tonight, Texas.
Yeah.
Kansas.
Which I think they're going to bounce back.
Miami, great road win over Clemson. We had a call in last week talking about Clemson basketball. I think this was their first back-to-back losses of the season. I believe that's correct. But Miami, great road win at Clemson, 78-74. Miami's now 18-5, 9-4 in the ACC ahead of Duke, North Carolina, and Syracuse, and they have Duke tonight. Third one, St. Mary's took down Gonzaga in overtime, 78-70. St. Mary's is now 21-4 and leads the West Coast Conference. Because
I love being right about Gonzaga every year. It's the easiest take of all time.
But they usually at least win their conference.
Yep, Dak Prescott's going to blow it, and Gonzaga's overrated. Here's what I want to say. The first one you brought up. Miami. This is a team that returned some pieces that made it to the Sweet 16 last year.
Yep.
All right, Wong's nasty. They know how to score. They're quick. They play a fun style of basketball. Do not be surprised if this Miami team takes out a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. They are that type of team. They are veteran. They can win in multiple ways, and they're scrappy with experience. That's a nice amalgamation when it comes tourney time, and they're looking like they could be a 3-4 seed somewhere around there where they're in a place that's kind of advantageous to them, and they have a couple, minor teams. This team beat Walker Kessler and Jabari Smith, beat the brakes off of Auburn in the second round last year, and are returning some guys. I tell you,
they're good, man.
Miami, do not be surprised if I somehow find a way to have Miami in the Elite Eight or the Final Four.
Yep. So my worst from the weekend is the negative reaction to the breakaway challenge when Alex Ovechkin brought his 4-year-old son out to make a goal. We have a clip here, but essentially Alex Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby were doing the breakaway challenge in the NHL skills competition. And Alex Ovechkin brought his 4-year-old son, Sergei Ovechkin, out to make the final goal. And there was a big uproar about this. I think there was a former NHL player who tweeted that this is so disgraceful for the NHL to honor Alex Ovechkin or his son with them being Russian, given the Russian.
Well, no. I thought the NHL was inclusive. I thought this is a.
I guess, look, my thing is, the first thing when I think of Alex Ovechkin, I don't think of like a Russian guy. I just think of one of the greatest NHL players of all time.
Well, it's to me, I actually want to applaud the NHL for putting him out there and then putting his son out there, because typically they go with whatever the woke slogan of the day is. I'm surprised they didn't move the All-Star game and ban Alex Ovechkin from the NFL. He can't help that he's from Russia.
Yeah.
His son cannot help that he's a 4-year-old or 6-year-old, whatever, from Russia. They didn't go over and start a war in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
They're not Vladimir Putin. But I thought, for all these woke blue check marks on Twitter, I thought it was all about inclusivity, right? Right? Doesn't matter where you're from or who you love or what you look like. Everybody's even and all this stuff, right? If it fits your narrative, that's it. That's why we'll hear all the stuff about two, black quarterbacks playing in the Super Bowl for the first time, but nobody will talk about a white corner in Riley Moss. Nobody will come out and say, wow, this is ceiling breaking. We have a white corner that's going to start in the NFL. No, it has to fit the narrative, just like they don't say, oh, wow, D'Amico Ryans got hired by the Texans. The NFL must not be racist. No, you don't hear about it.
Didn't you bring up, David, that his Twitter profile picture is with him and Vladimir Putin?
Yeah, someone had said that. I mean, he is. I don't want to say pro-Putin. He has close ties with Putin.
But he came out
his defense of it is basically like, hey, I'm Russian. I'm proud of my country.
Alex Ovechkin came out and said that he's against. Also, again, he can't help it. Whereas if he was over there fighting the Ukrainians and just so happened to come back to do the breakaway challenge in the NHL, then I'd have a problem with it. All right? But he said he's against it. He can't help where he's from. It's like I'm not blaming the German, somebody that's German now, even though the war's going on in Ukraine right now. I'm not blaming somebody that's German now for what happened in the late 30s, early 40s.
He was taking those records in that ESPN commercial. So, I mean.
Yeah, how does SportsCenter.
You have an issue with this?
Now.
No, not really. I really don't. I mean, if he did come out and he's against the war in Ukraine, then it's okay. If he didn't, he had a picture with Vladimir Putin, then I'd have. This something probably wouldn't sit right with me. To be honest, but I'm not upset by this. I mean, Ovi's is one of the best ever to do it, man.
Can we play this clip real quick just so people can see?
We need one more.
What was that, Sid? What's that?
We need one more signature on this one, I think.
One more signature from who? Oh, Sergey.
He's already good. Look at him. Look at the little kid on the skates. This is the cutest thing I've ever seen.
He's already a better skater than me.
Yeah. Look at him. I trust him.
Take him in and score a nice little goal. What do you guys think?
Here he goes. Look at him working. Look at the little kid working. This is so cool. Yeah, he's got it. See, there he is. There he is. There it is. How can you? I mean, goodness gracious.
I mean, unless you're calling for Alex Ovechkin to be just kicked out of the league.
I mean,
put him in prison.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're going to do that, might as well just put him in prison.
Yeah, then maybe we can trade, I don't know, the nukes guy from Russia for somebody this time.
Crazy stuff.
After we gave him their John Wick back. But hey, we ready to take some calls?
You want to take some calls?
Let's
do it.
All right, let's take some calls.
Let's take some calls. Let's start with Jimbo. I feel like this is probably Jimbo Eagle because he's calling in from New York. Jimbo, it's Monday. We need you to set the tone for the week. What do you have for us?
Good morning, fellas. This is, in fact, Jimbo Eagle originating from Syracuse, New York.
You love to see it, Jimbo. How's it going?
Pretty good, fellas. So, man, ever since, I watched the Pro Bowl, at least some of the Pro Bowl this weekend, and I know you touched upon it over this past week, but it's become so unbearable to watch. And basically ever since, that hit on Mormon from basically 20 years ago that Sean Taylor put on him, it's just like, how can you make that event, how can you make it watch worthy? And also not even that, just make it even exciting to watch. Like I can see some things with incentives like you guys mentioned, and also just with some of the events, like making some incentives out of it. I mean, I think those are some things that could make it really exciting to watch. I know I would love that type of weekend again, maybe that could lead up to the Super Bowl, that could even make it for fans to even be excited to tune into that. What do you guys think?
It's Jimbo, number one, appreciate you calling, buddy. Saw Dino Babers down there at the Senior Bowl speaking about Syracuse. Look, sometimes there's not a great answer to a question. I think it's very, very difficult now with what's going on to make the Pro Bowl interesting and trying not to get people hurt. I typically default to two different things. One, you can American Ninja Warrior this. You want to make it entertaining, have them jump over stuff and run and grab stuff and do all that. Or I think it'd be cool if you maybe picked, out of who makes the Pro Bowl, 5 guys on each side to compete at each other in a home run derby. And for each home run, there's $1,000 given to a certain charity. And then you have them do a 3-point shootout or something like that. It's just tough to make an all-star game in the game of football is very hard. We just go watch the practices at the Senior Bowl. Watch how hard it is to try and get guys going full speed and getting a good look without risking getting hurt. It's almost impossible. I feel like I'm with Cone here. I feel like it should just be a list or a roster. Here's your letter with a ribbon on it.
Jimbo, let me ask you this. I know you're a Bills fan. How did you feel about Josh Allen skipping the Pro Bowl, even though he wasn't going to play, but skipping the event entirely to go play golf?
All right, so number one, I know I've mentioned to you guys that I've actually gone to a Bills game, but I'm actually not a Bills fan. I'm a New York Giants fan.
Yeah, okay.
Good to know.
I'm from upstate.
Okay.
I don't know the whole situation. I mean, like, it's just like, obviously he was disappointed that he lost that divisional game to Cincinnati, and I don't know what he was dealing with at the time. It's just like, I don't know what the incentives were for him either to even play in that game. So it's just, I don't really know. I mean, what could you guys fill me on?
I feel like I tried for so long to play quarterback in the NFL and fell short of that. I would at least go be a part of the festivities. Like if you're injured and can't partake in the home run derby, I'm at least going to go be at the All-Star break, and not be somewhere else. But at the same time, this is how far the Pro Bowl has fallen. Yeah, guys are ready to go play golf. If
that's what the Pro Bowl is, I'm not taking my ass to go play that. I can go play Pebble Beach.
Yeah,
I'm going to go play Pebble Beach.
With the bras?
Couldn't you play Pebble Beach anytime? The best football players in a home run derby, are playing dodgeball. I'm trying to see football players play football, and if they're not, let's get a bunch of practice squad guys
give them money.
And give them incentives, right, in the Pro Bowl, and I guarantee their ass will go out there.
They call that the USFL.
Well, good. Well, put the USFL. I don't want to watch Kirk Cousins play dodgeball. All right, I don't. I don't want to watch these guys play home run derby. I want to watch football players play football. You're the best of the best. If you have to do incentives, that's fine. But get somebody out there who's going to play football. It's the Pro Bowl, all right? This isn't the Angels versus the Mariners. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to watch guys play football.
I just think it's a lot harder to structure a football game than it is to do the all-star festivities in baseball and then in basketball, because there's things off the periphery. They're trying to do it with the skills challenge. It just doesn't translate. But Jimbo, you always translate
Appreciate
well.
it, Jimbo. Good to know you're a Giants fan. Love it. All right, I'll remember that. All right, let's go to Jacob. Jacob's calling in from Nashville. Boys, our backyard. How you doing, Jacob?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thanks for taking the call, boys. So there's big news out of the UFC this weekend, obviously. UFC just announced the 31st season of The Ultimate Fighter. And the two coaches that are going to be coaching the teams that are going to be going against each other are Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler. And as almost every single season of The Ultimate Fighter has gone, at the end of the season, the two coaches fight each other. So there's going to be a McGregor versus Michael Chandler fight. I'm wondering what your take is. How do you think the fight's going to go? Do you think it's a close fight? Do you think McGregor's going to come back and tap into his prime ages from 2016, or do you think he's still going to keep getting beat as he has been the past couple years?
A couple things. Number one, I think Conor McGregor is chapter 2. I think it's starting.
Is it time?
I think UFC sees an opportunity to get Conor McGregor back in the spotlight, especially with some stuff out of the octagon that's gone on.
You talking about the bus situation?
I'm talking.
You're talking about the bus situation? I know what you're
talking about. All type of situations that's going on. When I look at the UFC, I think now's a perfect time to get McGregor back in the spotlight. I think he's going to beat Michael Chandler. I think this is going to be his comeback into the UFC. back into prominence of the UFC, and he's going to have a little bit of a longer career. I can see the play here by Dana White, and I like it.
Jacob, let me ask you this. First of all, I've looked at Conor McGregor, saw him recently on TikTok. You know what he's weighing right now?
I don't know, but he looks heavy. He looks jacked.
He looks heavy, and then that's scary to me. A heavy Conor McGregor.
I haven't worked out for him in the past.
I don't know. I don't know. This is going to be a good fight. I'm more excited just to watch the season because there's always something wild that goes on in these seasons, and they're just fun to watch. And Jacob, maybe we can get you in there in one season, one time. Have you thrown your name in the ring, in the hat?
No, they're not ready for me, man. I'd take out everybody.
Oh, look. When's Natan fighting again?
He's fighting. I'm not sure. I don't think his next fight's announced yet.
All right.
We got to get Natan Levy back on soon.
We got to get Natan Levy back on.
Mystic, Mike, and Connor. Huh? You taking Connor in that one?
Always.
You taking Connor?
Yeah, I'm taking Connor.
Yeah, I'll take Connor too. All right. Thank you, Jacob.
Appreciate it,
man. All right, let's go to Robert. Robert calling in from Orlando. What's going on, Robert?
Magic.
Hey, how's everybody doing today?
Doing good, Robert. How you doing?
Oh, not too bad. I just wanted to call in, first-time caller. Thank you guys so much.
Welcome to the Trust Tree. Yes, man. We appreciate you. Without you, there is no us.
Yeah, thank you. I feel the trust. It's coming down all the way.
Let it just let it shower over you as you ask this question.
All right. I'm a big UCF fan, being from Orlando and everything, and they finally released the a schedule for next year's football lineup, and I was curious what y'all thought about wins and losses, and with moving to the new division, what's it going to take for UCF to come back to prominence like it did a couple years back in like 2017, 2018.
Yeah, well, number one, appreciate the call, my friend. When it comes to UCF, and listen, I love what they're doing. All right, UCF's going into power. They're using prison rules. If you haven't kept up on social media, there's been a back and forth with Iowa State and UCF now. Obviously, UCF going into the Big 12. What do? You go to prison, you walk in the lunchroom, somebody starts talking trash to you to try and test you, you grab the plate and hit him across the face with it. All right, so UCF grabbed the tray and smashed Iowa State in the face. They're going back and forth on social. I respect it. What
size shoes are those?
These are 13s.
I like those.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What do you want? You want these shoes?
Yeah, see, that's how you...
What do they say on Wayne's World?
If they walk up to you...
What do they say on Wayne's World? Ozzy wasn't going to go on unless he had a bowl full of green M&Ms. So they went over there to the candy store, and they didn't have any green M&Ms, so they beat the candy shop owner to some shoes. But no, I think UCF's going to be fine. It's going to take a little bit of time up front. That's where you're going to see the biggest difference early from a depth standpoint. But UCF being in Orlando, having that base, Malzahn, I think, is the right coach to make this transition. If you bowl eligible first year, right? That's what you're shooting for. I know UCF fans are going to be like, wait, no, that's not us. We can win 10 games. Be a little bit patient. All right. What do you and a good doctor have in common? You need some patience. All right. And I think you're going to have it.
You want their schedule? State, home.
Win.
Boise.
Win.
Villanova, home.
Win.
In football? Okay, win.
At K-State.
Loss.
Baylor, home.
Loss.
At Kansas.
Win.
At Kansas.
I'll give them a win there.
Okay. At Oklahoma.
L.
They get West Virginia and Orlando.
Win.
L.
They go to Cincinnati.
L.
Win.
Oklahoma State, home.
Dub.
They go to Lubbock to play Texas Tech.
Loss.
And they get Houston at home.
I can see 7 or 8. I can see 7 or 8.
That sucks.
That's tough schedule.
And you don't
Welcome
even play
to it.
Texas.
That sucks.
Or TCU.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I was going to say, why the hell are you playing Cincinnati? Oh, wait, they're in the Big 12 too. Now, look, if you get 7, 8 wins first year, but you'll see the recruiting. Not that UCF's been bad in recruiting, but you're going to see that elevate, especially on the offensive line and defensive line. And that's going to tell the story on how well, not only just UCF, but any of these group of 5 teams that are transitioning to Power 5, that's going to tell the story on how well they do.
Love it. Thank you for calling in, Robert.
Appreciate it, Robert.
All right. Next one here. We got Justin from Pensacola. Justin, what you got for us?
What's up, boys? Calling to talk about the old, worn-out cat in the room is Kevin Steele being hired at Alabama. Wondering what y'all think about it. I just feel like as soon as I saw it pop up, mid popped into my brain.
It's working.
It's either he had good years at Auburn, he had bad years at Auburn. And last year scares the crap out of me with him being at Miami and how bad they look. I'm up in arms, man. I feel like it was like there was 3 pieces of candy left in the jar, and you just picked one.
Yeah. Well, and with Kevin Steele, that'd be some old ass candy. Here's what I'll say about Kevin. It's like I said off the top. Alabama fans, you shouldn't panic because a lot of this comes down to personnel, right? Personnel matters more than the coach. I'm sorry. That doesn't mean the coach doesn't matter at all. That's what I was talking about with Tommy Rees, and some people thought I meant, play calling doesn't matter. That's not what I meant by any stretch of the imagination. There's nuance involved in this. It's not peanut butter and jelly. Sometimes you got to throw some banana in there and cut the crust off. But here's what I'll say. Alabama has really, really good personnel. They have good personnel up front. Kevin Steele can actually use his whole bag with the personnel that Alabama has under the parameters of what Saban wants to run defensively, which Kevin Steele knows. Here's what I will tell Alabama fans. You would much rather have a journeyman like Kevin Steele that knows what Saban's going to ask for, that knows the personnel, that knows the scheme that he wants, than some hotshot young guy that's going to come in there and try and prove how much to Nick Saban that he knows as much, if not more than Nick Saban. Because that's how you end up having a bad relationship. That's how it ends up burning down with good players. Kevin Steele's going to come in and cause what? No problems. There's not going to be a lot of transition time. He understands the terminology. He understands the practice structure. He understands how Nick Saban does things. I think this was a great hire for Alabama. I know it's not the most exciting or sexy thing, but guess what? Your defensive coordinator is your head coach. He always has been. I'm not going to worry about Nick Saban finding the right guy at defensive coordinator. I know the defense struggled a little bit last year. I think that was more about in-game adjustments and kind of how it was going there with Pete Golding and personnel a little bit. Let's be honest. They doubled Will Anderson, and Dallas Turner and them didn't really come on and do the things we thought, Jaheim Oates, guys like that. But I think the personnel with Kevin Steele, it's a great mix to me.
What do we consider struggling these days on the defense?
That's another thing.
They gave up 18 points.
People wanted to fire Pete Golding for giving up 19 points a game.
18 points a game. If I was a D coordinator and you told me you gave up 18 points a game, oh, God, I'm stoked about it. But let's be honest here, guys. Nick Saban's the D coordinator.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, you didn't even have to hire one. It's Nick. Kevin's just going to be a guy with the headset on. That's what Kevin's going to be.
Yeah.
That's it. It's like coaching the Warriors. Hey, shoot good.
Hey, let's get into the game good.
Which coordinator will last longer at Alabama? Tommy Rees or Kevin Steele?
They'll both be gone after this year.
No.
After
Kevin
this
Steele.
year?
Yeah,
one and done?
Steele, they'll be gone.
Like a college basketball.
Kevin's getting his bag and getting out. Tommy just wants a head coaching job.
Yeah, that's it. I think Tommy's there, mercenary hire. Let's come in, run the ball good, play action. Let me go be a head coach of a MAC team. I think Kevin Steele, he's on the back end of his career. He wants to ride out into the sunset so he can sit on a front porch and look at a lake while counting his rings and getting paid from every school.
But would it be anything different from Alabama just after 1 year their coordinators will be gone?
No, nothing. But again, I don't think, where's Kevin going to go? I don't think Kevin wants to be a head coach anymore.
Auburn.
Stop.
I heard Jim Harbaugh was going to the NFL and Kevin Steele.
Arkansas.
Michigan.
That's hilarious.
The Butch Jones pipeline.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly right. We appreciate the call, man. Enjoy that weather.
Thanks so much, man. All right, let's go to Thomas. Thomas calling in from Missouri. Thomas, what's going on?
Mizzou.
Not too much. I was listening to your podcast, and I just wanted to say that I'm rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs.
There you go.
I'm from Webb City, Missouri.
Okay, let's go. Hey, were you the one that sent in the Cardinals thing, Thomas?
Yes, I was.
Hold on. Oh, we got it.
I'm going
said
down
Webb
this
City.
thing.
I only know one Webb City.
Webb City Cardinals.
The reason why I didn't have my full name was because my I don't got very good handwriting.
Me neither.
Thomas, I thought it was good. I thought it was legible handwriting.
Mine's chicken scratch.
Look, Thomas sent us Webb City Cardinals Cardinal and Kelsey Crunch. Look, I wouldn't be upset if the Chiefs won.
Me neither. I don't have I don't have a dog in this fight.
Yeah.
Right? I really don't. I'm glad both these teams are here. Would I rather see the Chiefs win than the Eagles? Yeah, probably, to be honest with you.
I got a dog on each team, man. Brandon Graham, Chad Henne. It's a win-win situation.
It's a win.
Let's go. Let's go play good.
But Thomas, look, man, we appreciate you sending this in, man. I'm going to sit here with this bird for the rest of the show.
Well, unfortunately, I can't watch you because I'm currently at work. I'm in the middle of a factory, and they get kind of touchy if you have your phone on. So I just listen to you guys.
Well, man, we appreciate it. And tell your factory boss he needs to just put it on, and everybody will work harder and smarter and be smarter.
You send me a message, and I'll turn into Flaming Dragon, and we'll take care of that.
Yeah, look, Blaine will burn that factory down. Don't think he won't.
You want to talk about being touchy-feely? Imagine your boss waking up and looking outside, and there's a dragon outside his house.
He's dead inside.
Yeah, you can't kill what's dead inside. But we appreciate it, Thomas.
Appreciate it, man.
You guys
Thanks so
just
much
made
for
my day. Thank you so
all right.
much.
thanks,
Have a
thanks
good
for
day.
calling in, man. All right, last call here.
No.
It's Coach O from Louisiana. And immediately I have a lot of questions because there's so many ways this
Look,
could go.
you remember when I got impersonated?
Yes.
He impersonated me on the Coach O show.
Do you remember?
And he said he was going to
Hey, I'm J-Boy.
And he said he was going to put me in a hole somewhere in Louisiana. Well, who got fired first, Ed?
Oh,
Well,
man.
Coach O from Louisiana is on the line, and I have no idea where this is going.
Oh, let's
Coach
go.
O, what's
Coach
going
O,
on?
what? I got Kelsey Crunch, so you better bring the heat.
How we doing, boys?
How's it going, man?
It's a great day to be a Tiger. I tell you that.
Yeah, no, look. Go ahead.
That's Coach
I just
O.
want to let you boys know I enjoy watching y'all in the mornings. I drink my coffee. I have a good time listening to Jake play today. Y'all got it going on. I love listening to y'all talk ball. And but down here in the Rose, Louisiana, I'm just spending my $17 million buyout right now.
Nice.
I don't have really any plans. So my mornings are pretty wide open, and I like to watch y'all guys.
Hey, two questions for you, Coach O. Number one, so I'm not. Next time I go to Louisiana, I don't have to worry about getting put in a hole down there somewhere in a swamp where I don't know.
Oh no, because I like you. You. Ain't nothing gonna happen to you down there because you and me, we in the trust tree with the nest and all that good stuff.
I tell you what, and Coach O, to use your own verbiage, you really know how to stir the gumbo. Go Tigers.
Oh,
Go Tigers.
that boy can pepper the gumbo now.
Oh no! All right,
Oh,
Coach O, we appreciate it. We'd love to.
That Joe Burrow can pepper the gumbo now.
Yeah.
I don't like the way that boy got treated last week.
Yeah, well, look, I'm going to put it this way, Coach O. What you're able to do massaging those egos, not Deshaun Watson massaging, but the way you're able to massage those egos of Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, all those guys is pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah, we are. 2019 was a great year. that Kim Mulkey Roberts, that Kim Mulkey, oh, man, she got them girls going down there.
She does, man. Y'all.
Between you and me, he could whip my butt.
Coach O, great job. We appreciate it. Coach Ed Orgeron joining us here on the line.
Thanks for your call, Coach.
O, well
Appreciate
done.
that. Go Tigers.
Well done. All right,
boy.
great stuff. Love the call-ins.
That
I've got to
was
get.
amazing.
I've got to get to my best and worst real quick before we get into bets.
Yes.
All right, number one, the atmosphere at Indiana for the Purdue game was nuts. And we talk about, like, there's some places that it's great for college football for the brands to be good. That atmosphere at Indiana, it does not get better than what we saw against Purdue.
Yep.
They were able to win the game. Purdue came back and fought. I want to give credit to Hoosier Nation out there. That place was rocking. I could feel it through the TV, 100% legitimate. But my worst, Colorado State men's basketball, the student section, I believe, they're playing Utah State, and a kid from Utah State is from Ukraine. And the student section starts chanting, Russia, Russia. I am not for cancel culture. Y'all know that. Heckling is a huge part of sports. You make fun of people's height, weight, what they look like. This, though, to me, is over the line when we're talking about a war that is going on right now and people are dying. Children, women, families are dying. I felt like this was somewhat in poor taste. Let's go ahead and play the clip. Colorado State down 6 to Utah State. Utah State on the free throw line. Listen.
Anjay and Stevens back into the ball game.
So 40 and 9/10 seconds remaining here. As Schluger goes to the free throw line. 84% on
You hear the fans booing the student section now. You can hear him booing.
Schluger's made his only attempt tonight.
Now, he missed the free throw.
Missed it. Word.
All right. Again, I am as competitive as any human being out there. All right. But to me, there is a little bit of a line here when we're talking about that. I've got no problem if you want to make fun of somebody's weight, if you want to make fun of somebody's wife, their height. But this, to me, fellas, over the line or right on the line?
What if they had just made fun of him for being from Ukraine and without any conflict with Russia or anything?
Well, see, like, to me, if there was no conflict with Russia, they would never say Russia. They would just be like, you're from where Borat's from.
That was Kazakhstan, but yes, I get what you're saying. I get what
take
you're
a
saying.
left.
Blaine, your thoughts here?
I mean, how bad do you want your team to win? How big of a fan are you? What's the line on winning?
Racial slurs?
That's the line for sure.
So does this qualify?
Yeah, you can't do this, right? It worked, but you can't.
The first thought in my mind if I went to this game wouldn't have been like, man, let me make sure I yell out Russia at the kid from Ukraine. It's a low blow. This is not even close to the Alex Ovechkin situation that we were talking about. However, Blaine did say he missed a free throw.
He missed.
Again, if your job was solely to make somebody miss a free throw, you accomplished your job. But I kind of fall back toward the fans that were there booing the student section.
Yes.
I think that, to me, speaks. I've never seen that before.
I'll say the same thing I said to Blaine when he won the month of January. You won the month.
You're a cheater. The Waterboy's a cheater.
And you lost in life. That's what I'll say.
Don't get me started. I don't want to go down this road again. That's messing worse.
I want to go down the road
So
again.
I'm going to head over to the board of friendship, justice,
At this point,
and education. Right. And guys, understand, look, all right, our bets, they're brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. So download the app, use our code BOOSTER, BOOSTER. New customers can bet $5 on Super Bowl 57 and get $200 in free bets instantly. That's only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code BOOSTER, BOOSTER. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void in Ohio. Sorry about it, guys. Work on it. Maybe you can beat Michigan now.
Ohio.
See show notes for details. All right, guys, Saturday, I got destroyed. Thanks to, you know what, I'm not even going to go into it thanks to. Sunday came back. All right, I want to thank Northwestern for covering the 3.5 and the under. I want to thank Utah for winning money line and the under. I want to thank Michigan for handling business. And I want to tell everybody that is involved with Quinnipiac basketball. And I think Dunleavy's son's the head coach. I don't really know who you are. I don't really know where you are. But I do know this. I will never forgive, and I will never forget. May nothing but losses and disappointment follow you for the rest of the season. You guys blew a parlay for me at home against Mount St. Mary's. Y'all couldn't even lose to normal St. Mary's. Mount St. Mary's. The short kids that are up on the mount by St. Mary's. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know if Quinnipiac could have beat St. Mary if she was just playing 1v5. But I'm not even going to get into that. Your school name's got too many letters in it anyway. It starts with a Q. All right, the only cool Q I know is in James Bond. I don't know another one. Here's what I got today. College basketball was good to me yesterday, though, outside of that. Give me Kansas -4 at home. Answering Texas, all right? You played bad on the road at Iowa State. Grady Dick, mom's 6'5", make some shots. Figure it out. Was a hell of a point guard at Iowa State. Fun fact for you. Then my second one. I believe in Kansas tonight, guys. I'm going to click my heels twice together and hope good stuff happens. All right, so give me Kansas -4. That's -110. Then a parlay of Kansas and Miami money line plus 142. Come on, Rock Chalk. Daddy's knocking on the door. I need you to answer and show me some love.
Man,
right,
you're really believing in Kansas, huh?
I am.
Look, I did miss my last bet that I picked against Kansas. But having said that, I think I also missed my last one I picked against Texas. I'm going to take Texas with the points. +4 on the road. That's -110. We're bet enemies today, Jake.
Bet enemies.
And then I want the Devils plus the Rangers money line +149. Good to see hockey back on the screen.
It is.
All right. I've given you all enough leeway now.
Here we go.
Now we can play a little bit. Give me the Clippers and Boston money lines +105. Give me them Longhorns on the road +155.
Y'all are really
not a lot of
shoving Texas.
Not a lot of scores on this Kansas team. Jalen Wilson, obviously a great player, but I mean, if Grady ain't hitting from the three, I get somewhat worried. And they don't really have a inside presence unless you really want to trust that freshman. Give me Texas and them boys on the road today.
All right, Baby Cone. He's riding the Lightning with me. Miami money line at -165, and the Mavericks versus the Jazz, which would be a very interesting fight in real life. Over 221. That's -115. What's going on in the Booster Club, Flaming Dragon?
All right, let's go. Travis Elrod said you should hear Allison Williams' impression of Ed O. She actually does a really good job.
Really?
I didn't know that.
I would not have guessed that.
Texas says Blaine running away with a gold tumbler. I believe that's Mr. Gilmore's. That is mine.
Thank you. Exactly.
I had a fan send this to me, so
Thank you.
Let's see how it is, Travis. The Hayford says, guys, daily wire stream's having some problems. You're having problems with daily wire stream. Come on down to YouTube. We'll get you right here. McGrady Productions says, guess Saban isn't interesting in being the college king with hiring Steele, whose 2011 Clemson defense gave up 70 points to West Virginia, and 2022 defense Miami gave up 40 points to clinch.
Okay, if we're going to pick out 2 games in a career of 39 years, let's pick out some good ones too. I've also watched this guy's defense. I watched this guy's defense, unless I'm mistaken, shut down LSU with Joe Burrow in 2019 at Auburn with Derek Brown and those guys. Look, Kevin Steele's who was Nick Saban supposed to hire? Bill Belichick to be the defensive coordinator?
Yeah. So if Hugh Freeze named Kevin Steele the DC at Auburn,
I think it'd be a good hire.
I would be upset.
Okay.
I think it'd be a good hire.
Just not the head coach at Auburn.
Yeah.
Not the head coach.
Not a head coach.
All right, let's go to Darby Luke Cone. What's up, Darby? Can we talk about Alabama basketball? Do y'all think they're the real deal, or are they going to kill all my hopes and dreams and lose in the second round of the tournament?
Yeah, we're going to wait to talk about Bama tomorrow when this new AP poll comes out, because they may be number 1, which would make back-to-back seasons where the state of Alabama had a number 1 ranked team at the highest level of Division I basketball, which, again, I can go into how good the state of Alabama is with UAB and Alabama and Auburn, how good they've been recently in basketball. But look, Alabama can win the national championship. You can make an argument they're the best team in college basketball right now. Namari Burnett coming in, adding another guy that can shoot 3, another guy that's going to give effort on defense. I still think the key to this team is Bediako being able to in these games against big-time players on the perimeter where they've struggled against Drew Timme and some of these other guys in the NCAA tournament. He is going to have to find a way to at least just hold court. Because if he holds serve and it's somewhat even, Alabama will out-talent you with the rest of the roster and the depth that they have. It's that presence down low, because it's just like a good run game, right? How do you stop a good offense from scoring? You keep their ass on the sideline. And that's what teams will try and do against Alabama in this NCAA tournament. Work that shot clock, which works the game clock. Get it down low, play it inside and out, slow down the game, make Alabama run stuff through half-court sets, not just turn into a track meet. That's what I would worry about if I was an Alabama fan.
And they've proven they can win big games when Brandon Miller doesn't play his
That's
best.
very true. That's true.
Huge.
All right, poll?
Poll. Who wins the Super Bowl, fellas? Chiefs. Eagles.
Go ahead, David.
I'm going to go, again, I'm not making my official pick yet. I'm going to say they said the Eagles 55%.
I'm going to say they said Eagles 56%.
Eagles 64%, Chiefs 36%.
All right. Patty Mahomes might have some.
That sounds about right. All right. Make sure you're subscribed everywhere on YouTube. Go to the Daily Wire Plus. Make sure you sign up. It's great stuff over there. Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, us. All right?
Yeah,
that's all you should know. Then Michael Knowles and Matt Walsh and us.
Yeah.
All right, so check us out. Use that code for DraftKings and Black Rifle. Use Booster. Again, some great deals. We appreciate you guys. Got a great show for you tomorrow. And I think we might run a Senior Bowl interview tomorrow. What do you think about Chase Brown?
Let's do that. Oh, we have Jonathan Mingo as well, right?
Jonathan Mingo as well, speaking of Ole Miss. We appreciate you guys. And like the chances of the student section chanting the right thing when you make fun of somebody from the Ukraine right now, we're gone.